Okay, so let's talk about Robin in this game. So, Robin is often overlooked. If you've seen the title of this video, I'll explain why. But basically, Robin he suffers from a big problem that a lot of other characters in this game suffer from, and it is that he's just a worse version of other characters with the same game plan as him. Like a good example is like a set of characters like Red Hood, right? Um, Red Hood basically does what Robin does better. He's got setups too. He also got really good zoning, really good anti-zoning tools, plus frames, keep away, anti-airs, decent damage, really good traits for pressure. Like he just does what Robin does better, I think, in most cases. Now, not saying Robin is bad. For one thing, he has a lot more range than most other characters that play his game plan have. And secondly, he's got a trait that has a very short cooldown, so that means that you can keep spamming the trait essentially. You get it back really fast. If I like do this and I call it back, you can see how fast my trait replenishes. If you look at a character like Atrocitus or something like that, it charges very slowly. For character power like this, I think it's very useful because it doesn't hurt as much to lose it if you fuck it up or something. It's not like Flash where like if you don't get that hit and you just waste your whole bar, right? With Robin, it's more like I can throw this out there, and then if it hits, it's good. If it doesn't hit, it's okay because I'll get like in 5 seconds anyway, right? I'll get it back. I think that's very solid about a character to have a trait that isn't necessarily insanely powerful. However, it's good because you keep getting it back over and over. I think that's a very good design of Robin. But let's cut the shit here, okay? We know why Robin has issues in this game, and it's because of a little strategy called zoning. Now, zoning is the bread and butter of the Injustice 2 meta. You either zone or you get zoned. There's much else to say about it. You can play, aggressive rushdown characters, but you have to work hard for it. Because most people are going to be using Superman or Batman or Red Hood, Starfire, Doctor Fate, to zone you out. In fact, one of the best zoners the game had ever seen, or universe had ever seen, Deadshot, got nerfed, right? Because he was too powerful at playing the keep away denial game, right? Deny jump ins, deny your rush down, things like that. I think it was healthy for Deadshot to get nerfed, but what's really happened is that the meta's just evolved. So now we just have other characters who basically taking Deadshot's role, like Starfire and Doctor Fate and stuff. And Robin, he struggles against zoners. For one simple reason, he doesn't have a good, anti-zoning move. What I really want you guys to focus on is I want you to note the comparisons I'm making here, so you can understand why characters either better or worse than Robin. So, for example, if we compare him to a character like Batman, Batman has got the Batarangs, right? He's got the Batarang move, which basically lets him. The crazy thing about this move, by the way, they buffed it, I think, from Injustice 1, is that he moves backwards while he does the move. This is built-in animation after the Batarang. This means that you don't have to walk back, when you zone. With other characters, you have like Robotech and walk back, Robotech and walk back. With Batman, you can just he just does it for you. It's like in the move, right? This move was nerfed, so it doesn't build as much bar anymore. Again, to balance Batman out. So that's a good example. Robin doesn't have anything like that. Robin has got two moves that fight zoning. He's got the trait, which I think the best one to fight zoning is probably the explosive trait, just because it has a bigger radius and it doesn't call it back, it just explodes, and basically after you explode this you get a Batarang for free, which is good, but the second zoning move he's got and the zoning move he's got is Batarang. And these two moves, this one's got limited range, it's fast but it's got limited range, so you can't just throw it out there and bring zoning wall while you have to get in. And second, this is way too slow to actually anti-zone effectively, which is why you don't really see him in top level play very often, because he just gets countered by a lot of the cast, and so he's forgotten, left in the dust for other setup and zoning characters to take over his spot, which I don't like that much, because I think he's actually very interesting. He's a very interesting character, and he's really I would say he's top tier. He's definitely not top tier. He's A or something, maybe A minus, maybe A plus even. I think he's definitely around the same tier as Leonardo, maybe higher. I'm gonna say that. maybe a little bit higher than Leonardo actually, but they're around the same tier. But he just struggles with zoning. The turtles at least have that turtling move, which at least does something against projectiles. I wouldn't say it's a good move. It definitely has some issues as well, like that you can get out of it if it's like 2 hits or more and stuff like that. But generally speaking, I think Robin's biggest issue is that he doesn't have an actual anti-zoning tool. And when you don't have that in this game, like what do you do then? Well, then you actually have to get in, just like, basic get the fuck in there and hit them, right? There's not much else to say about it. What you see is what you get. You have to get in and hit them. And that's not easy for Robin always, because he doesn't really have, like I said, any ways to like guarantee that he gets in. I mean, I'm glad they added meter roll. That was a good thing. That was a good thing about Robin, that they added that, or just like generally. Robin doesn't have this, only like every character has this, but that's like a good move to get in sometimes. But the way you play Robin at a high level is that you basically have to scout for the opponent and throw blood ranks whenever the opportunity arises, right? And the best Robin players, they know when that time is and can scout the opponent and read the opponent to, expect them not to do anything about it. Obviously, if the opponent reads you doing this and they're too close, they kill you for it, right? If playing as a Sona and they read you doing this, then you can full punish you with a projectile. But if you manage to make them either react to it or block it, then you at least build a little bit of tempo and a little bit of bar, and you might be able to actually use that to mix them and you eventually get in, right? But Robin, you can't just like spam this move because it's way too slow to actually have any significance in a zoning war. So you have to scout for the opponent to make a mistake or jump or whatever, and then throw it out. And that's really a big problem. He's really good in matchups where he out neutrals the opponent, or where he has more range, or where the opponent doesn't have a zoning move that they can spam to basically render his offense useless. But in a matchup where that is a fact, where he's playing against Dr. Fate or something, it's very difficult to do anything about it. It's just very difficult to, at least Batman has things like the bats, which are really good at at least from this range, right? If you're Batman from this range, you can at least, build some offense and build some real estate, right? And say, I'm going to press you now because the bats, there's nothing you can do about it. You block the bats, you block this 4-3, or you block this 4-2, or you block this whatever, or down 3 or whatever. You block whatever the couldn't do next because you block the bat first, or the jump in, right? He can make his jump in effectively safe by using the bats. And that's not the case for Robin. And that's really unfortunate that they made him like this. It's his biggest flaw. Now, I'm curious to know what you think about Robin down in the comments, especially all the Robin mains out there, because people can make him work. We have seen him work at a high level. People have played him like Hayate or Raptor. I've seen Compa play him as well. Compa had incredible Robin, right? I think he was really good at it anyway, even though it isn't even his main, Batman is the main, right? But you don't see him as much, and I want to shed some light on why that is, and this is the reason. Because he doesn't have any good anti-zoning moves, and that is really what you need if you're gonna play a rushdown or mix-up or setup character like Robin. You really need to have that in order to be even high tier, I don't want to say. But yeah, that's it for me now. Like I said, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what your opinions are on the son of Batman, Damian Wayne here, and hope you enjoyed the series. Yeah, I'm planning to make a lot more of these in the future. And as always, this is Destiny Cat, signing out.